back playing in general. Like whether I score 2 points or whether I top my career high, I'm just honored to play, blessed to play.
I mean, you guys led by 10 points for most of the game there. I mean, just how did that 12-2 run to open the game? I know it was a combination of them kind of hurting themselves, but I mean, how did that really set the tone for the entire game?
We've been talking about a lot not starting slow. Like we started off slow a lot last year. We began the season starting off slow. So hopefully us coming out, playing hard, pushing pace early, we just continue to do that instead of going backwards.
And the last thing for the game, I mean, it seemed like every time Detroit Mercy scored a big bucket to come within, 10 points or, in single digits, you personally had the answer for a lot of those. I mean, just how are you able to create those momentum plays and just take a step up in a leadership role without Coach Bogus having to take all these timeouts?
I think that just come with my team playing together, sharing the ball. Like, we all love each other. We're all, like, happy for each other to see each other win, and we all have the same common goal. So it's just, like, connectedness.
And it seemed like you had a lot of energy right out the gate. You could kind of see yourself as like that energizer bunny as a team. How much pride do you take in that and being the person that's going to be a high energy player each and every night?
I'm just really competitive, and I take pride in that. Like, I don't like to lose. I don't like to, be, screamed in my face or something. I like to be the one doing that, so.
Were they chirping at you a little bit on the court? It seemed that way.
Yeah, it'd be like that. We're not worried, though.
Because then the defense, obviously they shot well, but it didn't seem like they got a lot of shots off, and that's a product of you guys being suffocating on defense. So what can you say about the defense effort today and how you guys, even when you were bending at some points, just weren't breaking?
Communication and practice. We've been practicing getting in the gaps a lot, like being in each other's help side so that our person pressuring the ball can feel comfortable, like just having each other's back.
And final one for me, first half it seemed like the great shots they were getting were a product of them just getting the switches they wanted. Second half, not so much. So at halftime, what were the adjustments that you guys made to prevent those?
Just communicate more, and we, I don't want to say switched up our game plan more, but we locked in on our principles instead of scout.
You scored in double figures in all 3 games this season. Do you feel like you're really finding your rhythm?
I feel like it comes along with offensive rebounding, running the floor. It's all in the flow of the offense. So it's a lot of things we practice. So it comes very naturally when our team is moving the ball well and just playing well.
In all 3 games this season too, you guys have dominated in points in the paint. I mean, just talk about your guys' ability to be that physical at the rim. I mean, even tonight, drawing 22 fouls on them this game. I mean, that's by far the most this season, and holding them to, 52 points, obviously, lowest total this season. I mean, just talk about the defensive effort in, being efficient, defending without fouling, but also drawing fouls in the paint.
Defensively, I think that when we talk and we switch and we have energy on defense, that carries over. So when we are attacking the paint, we claim that elbow and get downhill, and we go off 2 feet, we go up strong, and we just play with passion and just be strong with the ball. That's how we got to the foul line a lot today.
Where do you feel the most comfortable on the court? Is it creating your own shots? Is it feeding off the energy of others? Is it being more entertaining? Where do you find your comfort?
I feel like it's a little bit of everything, kind of like the flow of the game. Like if I'm rim running, I like to outrun everyone and get that ball, feed off that energy. And then if I set a screen and pop, or if I'm open for a drift pass, hitting that 3, just the flow of the energy. That's kind of where I feel most comfortable.
How comfortable are you behind the arc? You only shot with 3 today, but is that something you look to get going?
Yeah, it's definitely something I'd like to get going a little bit more. I mean, we were hitting shots inside, so we didn't really need the outside shots, but the one shot, I thought it was going in, but it just rimmed out a little bit. But yeah, working on that.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a full 40-minute battle. A really good team from Detroit Mercy coming up. I thought defensively we really did a great job, especially in that second quarter. Anytime you hold a team to a single-digit quarter, it's really, really great. Things I'd like to see improve, limiting our fouls, and then executing a little bit better down the stretch, respecting the lead. As Kelly Savage would tell me all the time when we talk about that. So really, really proud of our effort. Great crowd today, again, on hand for us. And we're watching these young players grow up right before our very eyes.
Same question I asked of Faith earlier, but it seemed like every time Detroit Mercy would, either make a couple of baskets or, cut it within single digits, it seemed like Faith was really the one to provide the answer for you guys. Just talk about her performance today, but also just her ability to create those momentum plays that, spring 2 or 3 buckets and, create a run for you guys.
Yeah, well, you can see her starting to find her stride a little bit. I think I mentioned she only had a couple practices before we went down to Troy. So she's just getting her wind back, getting her feel back. Her teammates are finding her. But we watched film twice together this week, just me and her, and just talked about angles on her attacks and opportunities for mismatches and off-the-ball movements that will get her advantages to get downhill and get to the rim and do what she does. And was just really proud of her carryover today. She did a great job. And I don't think, other than maybe that one last corner 3, that was a little bit ill-advised. I thought she took really good Toledo shots. She wasn't forcing it, and she let the game come to her, and that's something we talk a lot about.
Detroit Mercy cut it to single digits a couple of times in this game, but it never really felt like you guys lost control at all this game. What does it say about your team's resiliency to just regroup and, just go on to the next possession and, not having to take those timeouts?
Yeah, we didn't ever look shaken or rattled to me, which I think is a good sign for moving forward. It's going to be like this every night. We got to come together. We got to come ready for a full 40. We knew they were going to punch. We knew they were going to keep punching, but proud of our togetherness and our resiliency. And then again, just our connectivity on offense to get some easy paint points. We found Eva twice in the lane. That's always really, really helpful when we've got that paint presence. So great assist by Miriam.
Lastly for me, all 3 games, you guys have dominated paint points, and no different today. Do you feel like being physical at the rim, getting to the line that way is kind of the identity of this year's team, and rather than maybe outside shooting?
Yeah, well, we want, we say it all the time, 5 willing and able scorers and 5 willing and able passers. And we're going to take what the game's going to give us on any given day. And I'm sure there will be games where, it's going to be our guards, coming off ball screens, hitting pull-ups, or we'll be hitting, our 5s on the roll. I love the way that we've built this team. And we're still finding our stride. We lost our 4 best 3-point shooters from last year, including Destiny Robinson being out. So we'll find it from beyond the arc. And we need to keep getting our good shooters good shots. I got to find a way to get Patricia involved in the offense. And we need Kendall Carruthers to take more shots.
As far as Faith, outside of the X's and O's, how much does it help to just have her as I said before, an energizer bunny right out the gate?
Yeah, well, I made sure that Kira Goss was her big sister last year. And Kira was that for us every day. And so she was mentored by one of the best in the history of our program as far as just energy and effort and what's important now on the next play. And you're seeing that kind of come to life. She's really finding her stride and having fun playing basketball. I think it's easy to go next play mindset when you're having fun and you love your teammates. And I think you saw that out there tonight from this team.
And you mentioned the fouls, but it kind of seemed like that was only because they were getting the switches they wanted in the first half. So I'm curious how you guys were able to clean that up in the second half.
Yeah, well, you need to be in our gaps and our plugs. There were some Troy flashbacks there where we were just kind of sucked up to our man, then we were late in our rotations or late to our help. But I think it's early in the year. I'm confident we can figure that out. And, again, it's just competing. We got a little lead there, and we got a little casual on the defensive end.
And Detroit Mercy shot the ball well, but they just weren't getting enough shots up. It's a product of obviously you guys having a suffocating defense. How much pride do you take in that? That you guys are struggling from behind the arc, you have a great defense even before that.
Yeah, well, we told them, I was like, listen, they're either turning it over or scoring. We're not actually getting live ball stops where we can play out of a rebound or play and flow into transition. So, again, credit to them. But I think, Miriam in there at the 5 doing what she does. How many steals did she have? 5? Yeah, that's just really good stuff. When your 5 is creating that kind of havoc. So proud of the effort. We'll keep getting better. We'll keep working on it. Finish the plays. We have a couple, only 3 ORBs, but one of them was huge. So we just got to stay in our process, stay together, keep working.
I know you mentioned you want to work on the 3-point shooting, but was that a concern today at all?
No. I thought we took great ones. We took open ones. Our shooters took them. Again, I'd like to see Pat and KC take a few more each. And then, I think Weaver's finding her stride. She's playing tremendous on the defensive end. We had Ella Weaver guarding their best score. And I thought she did a really, really good job. We got to find her some more spots.